host, Alex Trebek.
Trebek died Sunday morning after a battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. For more than 35 years, Alex Trebek was 80 years old. Through this whole battle with cancer, grace and dignity.
Absolutely, and he was very positive, and he really waged a really strong battle, and he was, as they said, in everyone's homes, really, for so much of our lives.
He was the best at what he did.
He really was. All right, it is 4:09 right now, and coming up on the Today Show, Jeopardy is here looking at the weather around here. Maria.
Yeah, we'll be watching potential tie-in with Ada for us later in the week, but right now it is still a force to be reckoned with, still producing heavy rain across South Florida, believe it or not. It's in the forecast to become a hurricane again and potentially still impact Florida. So I'm going to take a look at that coming up. But first, in our weather, quite the opposite. It's going to be mild. It is quiet right now around the boroughs. Brooklyn at 53, light winds, and 54 in Queens, 51 in Staten Island, 57 right now in the Bronx, and the city looking good in Manhattan with clear skies. 57 degrees. Look at all that sunshine. Look at the noontime temperature. We'll be approaching 70. So once again, we are going to be near record warmth. We set many records yesterday, aiming for a high of 76. How long this lasts? Heavy rain potential coming our way with big changes temperature-wise. That's ahead in the 10-day.
Maria, thank you so much. Still to come. It was the biggest earthquake in 44 years.
We'll say about this new era of hope.
Right now, if you are getting on Hudson Bergen Light Rail service is suspended in both directions between Jersey Ave and Garfield Ave and Jersey Ave and Richard Street. This is because of a motor vehicle accident. Substitute bus service is being provided. Heading over to the subways, of course, no subway service between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. They are being cleaned, and we'll take a live look outside at the roads. Here's the approaches to the Holland Tunnel. There is no construction.
Still bringing heavy rain across South Florida, but you sort of see it rotating back into the Gulf of Mexico, and this is the concern. It takes sort of this wild route through the Gulf, forecast to become a hurricane again, and then once again approaching the Florida coast from the Panhandle through western Florida. Will be on alert here, but look at the time frame. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll still be talking about this system. So at that point, we'll be having a cold front come through, and that's where we could see some of that moisture get tied up. So we'll watch it closely. And usually I would start the tropic update with this, the overall big picture, but I'm saving it for last because seriously, next week. 418, Lauren, what you got?
I'm just stuck on that 76 for today. If you're headed out the door right now, you can see lots of green on the maps. Heading over to some issues in New Jersey, you do have Route 10 closed westbound out between Troy Hills Road and Whippany Road. There was an accident with a down pole that they have to clean up. Then over on 80 eastbound, it was really out by exit 52 on the westbound side, but since it's eastbound, we're going to say before exit 53. There's an overturned dump truck that takes out 2 lanes with a debris spill, so just 1 lane gets by, and it is slow going as you make your way through the area. In better news, here's a live look at the Long Island Expressway in Queens, where it's still very quiet out there. This is what most of the roadways look like. Those 2 trouble spots I just showed you, really the only things that are going to get in your way right now. And alternate side of the street parking rules, they are in effect this week. Michael, back to you.
All right, Warren, thank you very much. It's 418 now, a 53-year-old, and with her new office comes an historic first.
She is the first woman to hold the second highest office in the land. But that's not the only barrier that she's broken. NBC's Morgan Radford explains.
We did it.
To fight for it. So, right, whatever your politics, it's,
right.
If you're a woman of color, if you're a child of color, this is an incredible moment. And something that she said that resonated with me that I've always told my kids is sometimes we are the only one who looks like us in the room.
Right.
But, you know, it doesn't mean that we don't have the right to be in that room.
Right. And then when you look at the history and you look at Shirley Chisholm and you look at Kamala Harris and you see the continuum of history, it's just fascinating to watch. All right, still to come, we have more news coming with you. We're going to also talk about Election Day, but in a different way. We're going to talk about the food items that were ordered last Election Day.
Okay, and later, shark alert.
This night from Sunday into Monday, so that's good news for you. Heading over to the Whippany area, though, Route 10 westbound closed from Troy Hills Road to Whippany Road because of an accident with a down pole out there. Then heading over to 80 eastbound, you have what's left of an accident with an overturned dump truck and debris spill. So this is approaching exit 53. Just 1 lane gets by. Definitely a little bit of a slowdown in the area. Leave yourself a tiny bit of extra time if you're headed that way. Michael, back to you.
Lauren, thank you. Well, today does mark the
9, Fordham Road, University Heights. That blocks 2 lanes, and you can see the maps are red, which means there's a delay. Then heading over to New Jersey on 80 eastbound, approaching exit 53. 1 lane gets by. This is because of an overturned dump truck and fuel spill, so this could be out there for a while, and delays will continue to get worse. I'll keep a close eye on it and let you know, but otherwise you should be in for a decent ride. Michael, back to you.
Warren, thank you very much. Breaking news now coming from New Jersey.
With Lauren.
Thanks, Maria. Good morning, everyone. It's still the same trouble spots out there. So southbound on the Major Deegan, you still have an accident that takes out 2 lanes by exit 9, which is the Fordham Road, University Heights exit. Delays go back at least an exit. So definitely a spot to avoid for now. You could take the Bronx River Parkway, Henry Hudson southbound. They're moving along just fine. Heading over to 80 eastbound, you still have what's left of an overturned dump truck and fuel spill. Earlier, 2 lanes were closed. Now just that right lane is closed. So you can see 2 lanes getting by. This is heading into exit 53, Route 46 Wayne. And over on Route 10, all lanes remain closed westbound in Whippany. There was an accident with a down pole. So that's from Troy Hills Road over to Whippany Road. You can take other local streets to get around it. In better news, here's a live look at the Grand Central Parkway. It's a little dark out there, but here's what it looks like by LaGuardia Airport. Overall, Queens still in good shape. The LIE, you're still in for a nice ride, so enjoy that while you can. And alternates out of the street parking rules, they are in effect this week. Michael, back to you.
All right, Warren, thank you very much. University of Notre Dame.
In New Jersey. Good morning, everyone. Monday morning, it is November 9th. I'm Darlene Rodriguez.
I'm Michael Gorgiulo. Lauren Scala's here tracking the roads and rails. But first, Storm 4's Maria LaRosa is here with today's weather headlines. I'm afraid to ask you because I just want this to continue.
It is going to continue.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Monday. We're off to a chilly start, though, in places, too, so I want to highlight that. You may need some layers here. Think a place like South Salem, 37 degrees. You have Mapac, 56, so let's get you traffic now. Looks good on the Staten Island Expressway.
It does, and it looks good on a lot of the roadways. There was an overturned vehicle on 80 eastbound out approaching exit 53 that cleared, so those delays have eased out. But you still do have this accident southbound on the Major Deegan out by exit 9, which is the Fordham Road, University Heights exit. So delays continue to build through here. Definitely a spot to avoid. And a suspension just came in on the 7 train. Services suspended in both directions between 34th Street, Hudson Yards, and Queensboro Plaza. You can take the EM&R to get between Manhattan and Queens in the meantime. Michael, back to you.
Warren, thank you very much.
These types of rains come around once every 100 years. We do want to check with Maria right now. Just looking at the wind speed there, Maria, so 65 miles an hour. Does that indicate it's not going to be as damaging as some other storms, or is it really the water that counts here? Well, you saw what it produced as far as the incredible flooding in Florida as a tropical storm. But believe it or not, it is forecast to become a hurricane. By the way, it's the 12th U.S. landfall. First for Florida, the most U.S. landfalls prior to 2029. That was back in 1916. So I'll update you on where it's headed next in Florida. But here it is beautiful. This is a view from Brooklyn and the New York State Measurement Weather Station there, looking at fair skies. Starting off in the 50s, a few 30s still north and west, so heads up there. 70 degrees and sunny by noontime and clear, pleasant for this evening. 62 degrees by 10 o'clock, maybe some fog in the morning. But we're making another run at a warm day today and tomorrow, but I am tracking rain. This will be the change maker to bring us the cooler weather. And an eye on the tropics. Believe it or not, it's not just Ada. I've got my eye on. Here we go. All that independent forecast. Days and weeks. A little bit of a busy one already for commuters on mass transit. Your service suspended on Hudson-Bergen Light Rail between Jersey Avenue and Garfield Avenue and Richard Street. But substitute bus service is being provided. You have the 7 trains suspended in both directions between Queensboro Plaza and Hudson Yards. You can take the EM&R or the M42 bus as an alternate. Delays on Coney Island down D trains and new timetables in effect for LIRR commuters. Now let's take a ride with us.
Send it over to traffic reporter / marine biologist Lauren Scala. Thank you. Actually, if it makes you feel better, one of the things that the shark conservationists told Austin Shavers not shit this has been a word of life. We seem to be straight. We can't relax. No. I have room shall turtle work if half we wood in the send it over to traffic reporter / marine biologist Lauren Scala. Thank you. Actually, if it makes you feel better, one of the things that the shark conservationists told me when I did a piece with them a few months ago was that great whites really only feed once a month. So hopefully you're just not in that time frame. If you're heading on the roads, yeah, and we don't really offer enough for them to be satisfied. So let them go for the seals. If you are headed out on the roads right now on 95 southbound, they're in the process of clearing construction in Sanford. So heading into exit 8, it's a little bit of a slowdown. And then over on the Major Deegan, delays continue to build. There's this crash southbound by Fordham Road, exit 9. 2 lanes are blocked. This is what it looks like all the way back at 225th Street, so you could take the Henry Hudson or the Bronx River Parkway down and avoid this altogether. Over on Route 10 westbound, all lanes are closed. Apparently 3 poles came down in this accident, so it's scheduled to be closed all morning, at least through the morning commute. That's from Troy Hills Road to Whippany Road. Again, it's only on the westbound side, but you could take local streets to get around it. And then looking at the LIE, things are starting to slow down, so plenty of taillights out there westbound between exits 20 and 19, typically what it looks like at this hour. Alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect this week, so make sure you move your car the last day listed on the sign. Darlene and Michael, back to you.
Lauren, thank you. Back to the election now. We have a new president-elect, a new vice president-elect, but the Trump campaign says the election far from over.
And joining us again this morning for some analysis is Hofstra University constitutional law professor James Sample. Good morning, James. Nice to see you again. So something you alluded to earlier this morning when we talked to you, they're high-level Republicans pushing this voter fraud narrative, and a lot of people say that they know better but could perhaps be doing this more to soothe the president. Now, my question to you is, with half a dozen lawsuits or so actually making their way through the courts right now, I mean, specifically, you have one in Georgia where they're asking to stop the count. Do any of them have any chance at all, realistically, of changing the outcome of the election?
Good morning to you, Darlene.
On voting, and that would have had to happen, I would think, way before the election took place.
Absolutely. And
thanks as always for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, 5:52 right now. Monday morning still to come. What election night made us eat? A look at the top food orders. That's just ahead.
I know when we get to 6 o'clock.
See the breakdown by party, but I just endorse. I want to be bipartisan and endorse all of that. Right?
I was like, was this survey taken elsewhere in the country? That's pizza for us, right? Call it a flatbread?
For sure.
I was going to say newsrooms across the area election night. It's always newsroom pizza.
Always.
Oh, yes.
That helped to bump it up.
That's true. Yeah, we're not without our comfort foods around here. That's for
right.
sure.
Let's do some carb loading. All right, let's show you beautiful sunrise. Maybe get out and do that morning walk. We have right now the view from the North Shore Tower camera in Florida.
One accident will slow you down. It's on the Major Deegan heading southbound. It's been out there for a little while now. It's southbound by exit 9, Fordham Road. 2 lanes remain blocked. You can see the delay all the way back at 225th Street, and that continues to grow. So you could take the Henry Hudson Parkway southbound or the Bronx River Parkway. Both of them are moving along nicely. Also, 7 train service is suspended right now in both directions between Queensboro Plaza and 34th Street Hudson Yards. So if you need to get between Manhattan and Queens right now via subway, the EM, N, or R, that's your options there. You could also take the M42 bus. Michael, back to you.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much. We have breaking news.
I like that. I like that. All right, well, I'm here to tell you now, you may want to crank the car heater up a bit in parts of Westchester County and really across the Hudson Valley. We're still seeing some areas in the 30s. Mahopac is at 56. They have South Salem at 36, Reading 46, and right now Warwick down to 36. We're sitting at 54 at Central Park, headed up to 70 by lunchtime already. So we're ahead into a warm day. 71 by 5 p.m., 62 clear and comfortable. So we've got warm weather today. We've got another one tomorrow before rain moves in, sort of changes all of that. And my eye on the tropics, it's not just Ada, but 2 other areas to watch. Yes, 2 in November. That's all ahead in the 10-day.
Maria, thank you so much. 6 away.
Decades, the shaking.
LIRR commuters heads up, new timetables in effect today. Also, PATH commuters, delays just came in on the Newark to World Trade Center line, and you have possible slip and slide delays for Metro North. Heading over to Hudsonburg and Light Rail, up to 30-minute delays in both directions. In addition to that, substitute bus service between Danforth Ave and Jersey Ave and Garfield Ave and Jersey Ave, and you still have the 7 trains suspended between Queensboro Plaza and Hudson Yards. Let's take a look outside of some good.
You have to be so careful because, as they saw there, couldn't tell where the parking lot ended and the canal began.
And can we say, too, that the center of the storm very far away from where that heaviest rain was. There was just a fire hose that set up from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. It actually made
everyone. If you ride the subways, service is still suspended on the 7 train between Queensboro Plaza and 34th Street Hudson Yards. You have delays on Astoria-bound N trains and delays on Coney Island-bound D trains. Heading over to the roads, there is an accident on the Merritt Parkway southbound after exit 44 Black Rock Turnpike. You can see the delays starting to build through there. Then over on the Deegan, it's been out there for a while. 2 lanes blocked southbound with this crash at exit 9 Fordham Road. Delays go off my maps now, so stick with the Henry Hudson Parkway southbound or the Bronx River Parkway. Avoid this altogether. You don't want to get stuck in that delay. Over on the Belt Parkway, a crash just came in. This is westbound out by the JFK Expressway, so exit 20, which would be where you would get off to go to Kennedy Airport. And then there's an accident northbound on the Van Wyck right before exit 2 Rockaway Boulevard. That takes out a lane there. Heading over to New Jersey, Route 10 westbound still closed in the Whippany area. That's between Whippany and Troy Hills Road there. Whippany Road, rather, because of an accident that caused 3 poles to come down. So a lot of cleanup taking place out there. But in better news, kind of, you do have some delays out there on the Gowanus heading into Hamilton Avenue, but they're just about back to the Prospect Expressway, so not too bad. Alternate side of the street parking rules, they are in effect this week. Darlene, back to you.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Well, 50
died Sunday morning after a battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. For more than 35 years, people welcomed Trebek, but then also his personal persona.
And so many people have so many wonderful things to say about him. And he is that game show host, right, that has lasted all these years. I mean, so many of us grew up watching him, and just an incredible man.
Absolutely.
All right, just ahead on the Today Show, Jeopardy executive 18 when they adopted him from the Delaware Humane Association. Major will be sharing the White House with Biden's other dog, another German Shepherd named Champ. I mean, that's just a wonderful story that they're going to be able to bring these dogs.
Some big dogs.
Yeah, big boys, German Shepherds.
There we go.
Yeah, beautiful dogs. We love it, right? Rescue families.
Mm-hmm. And they have a Twitter account already.
They do? Okay, I'm going to look for them.
Yeah. And they have all the puns, you know, positivity and all that.
Right. All over it.
Yes, all of it. A great day for animals to get on out and enjoy along with their fur parents. We've got temperatures starting off in the 50s in the city, still some 30s north, 56 overnight tonight. All right, let's check in with Lauren and see what's going on.
Thanks, Maria. LIRR commuters' new timetables in effect today. Path commuters, delays on the Newark to World Trade Center line, and Hudson Bergen Light Rail riders up to 30-minute delays in both directions, plus substitute bus service between Danforth Ave and Jersey Ave, and then also between Garfield Ave and Jersey Ave. This is because of a motor vehicle on the tracks near Liberty State Park. The 7 train is still suspended in both directions between Queensboro Plaza and 34th Street, and you have delays on Uptown N trains and Downtown D trains. A lot happening right now with mass transit. Michael, back to you.
Okay, Lauren, thanks so much.
Commuter alert. Storm Team 4's Maria LaRosa is here with today's forecast. Good morning. Good morning. And today's forecast a lot like yesterday's, and that's going to be warm and sunny. We're off to the sunny part, at least fair skies. Just a view of how the traffic is going. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Maria. If you were just with us, I was talking about a 7-train suspension. Service has been restored. You just have delays in both directions. I'll talk about delays on the roads. The Merritt Parkway is jammed up southbound because of a crash just after exit 44 Black Rock Turnpike. The major Deegan and accidents out there for a long time this morning by exit 9 Fordham Road. That's on the southbound side. 2 lanes are blocked. Delays go back to McLean Avenue. And around the Henry Hudson Parkway southbound, you have a crash right before 158th Street, causing delays finally on the Bell Parkway. This is a really slow go. I know it's hard to see on the map, but westbound by the JFK Expressway, another crash causing big problems for the commute. Darlene, back to you. Thanks so much.
Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Maria. Good morning, everyone. There are certainly quite a few accidents out there this morning. We'll start with Connecticut. Merritt Parkway southbound, you still have a crash after exit 44 Black Rock Turnpike, and the delays continue to build. Heading over to the Sawmill, northbound just after the thruway, you have an overturned vehicle here that takes out the right lane. You have some minor delays. Heading over to the Major Deegan, major delays. This crash by Fordham Road, been out there for a few hours at this point. 2 lanes are still blocked. Delays go back to McLean Avenue. And then if you were going to take the Henry Hudson as an alternate option, it's a good idea until you get into the area of this crash by 158th Street. So here's a live look at that slow ride coming off the ramp from the GW Bridge and the southbound Henry Hudson where they meet right there. So things are pretty jammed up. Heading over to the BQE westbound, you have an accident after Broadway. You still have a stalled vehicle on the LIE westbound approaching the BQE, and then the Belt Parkway crash still out there by exit 20. The JFK Expressway delays are starting to get back towards the Southern State Parkway. So keep all of that in mind. Alternate side of the street parking rules, they're in effect this week. Michael, back to you.
Lauren, thank you so much. We're seeing Britain's Queen Elizabeth.
Before we go, hey, Lauren.
Hey, Darlene. You have delays in both directions on the 7 train. LIRR commuters heads up new timetables in effect today, and up to 30-minute delays in both directions on the Hudson-Bergen light rail. If you're headed out east, Sunrise Highway eastbound, there's a crash right where it turns into the Southampton bypass. Delays go back into Quogue, so that's quite a stretch. Over on the Belt Parkway, you still have an accident westbound out by the JFK Expressway, and the Major Deegan still a mess with that crash southbound by Fordham Road. Maria, I know you have lots of good news for today.
I think here's Lauren Scala.
Thanks, Darlene. There are delays in service changes on the F and the Q. Hudson-Bergen light rail commuters still up to 30-minute delays and some substitute bus service out there. PATH commuters, there are delays on the Journal Square to 33rd Street line. LIRR, reminder, new timetables go into effect today. Over on 287 northbound, there's a crash by exit 30A North Maple Avenue. Over on the Deegan, there's still this crash out there. Been out there for hours southbound by Fordham Road. Delays almost back to the Cross County at this point. And then over on the Belt westbound, you still have this crash by the JFK Expressway. Delays almost back to the southern state. Darlene, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Lauren. Let's take a look at the morning commute. Here's Lauren Scala.
Thanks, Darlene. There are delays on southbound 1 trains. You still have up to 30-minute delays in both directions for Hudson-Bergen light rail commuters, with some bus service being provided. PATH riders, delays on the Journal Square to 33rd Street and Hoboken to 33rd Street lines. Possible delays for Metro North LIRR. Reminder, new timetables in effect today. Over on the roads, you have a crash on the Taconic southbound after the sawmill causing delays. One on the Cross Westchester Expressway eastbound out by exit 8E.